In the 1950s, a fresh-faced country music singer named Faron Young came onto the scene and started making waves with hits like Live Fast, Love Hard, Die Young, and If You Ain't Lovin, You Ain't Livin. Faron quickly gained a reputation as one of the decade's preeminent singing cowboys, and he maintained a career in the industry until the early 90s. Sadly, Faron's popularity had dwindled by the end of his life, and he committed suicide in 1996 without many country music fans even taking notice. In 2008, much of Faron's classic material was lost in the infamous 2008 Universal Studios fire, further calling his legacy into question. Join Facts First as we explore the devastating loss of Faron Young. Faron Young was born February 25, 1932 in Shreveport, Louisiana. His parents were Harlan and Doris, and they operated a dairy farm just outside the city. Faron was the youngest of 6 children. He had a challenge standing out from his brothers and sisters. This led to him developing some notable talents like singing. The young boy began singing at an early age, and it wasn't long before he envisioned himself as a pop singer. This dream was changed when he and a few of his friends caught country music singer Hank Williams performing on Louisiana Hayride, a local program broadcast out of Shreveport Municipal Memorial Auditorium. Faron was incredibly impressed by the singer's performance and the reactions of the crowds. From that moment forward, Faron no longer wanted to be a popular music singer. Instead, he wanted to sing country music. As he came of age, he began performing more and more in public. He could often be seen performing at a local club called the Optimist Club, and it was during one of these performances that Faron eventually caught the eye of honky-tonk singer Webb Pierce. Webb found himself incredibly impressed by the young Faron, and this was a connection that led to the singer getting a gig performing on Louisiana Hayride himself. Faron performed on it in 1951, and the subsequent broadcast brought the young man to more attention than ever. During these early years, Young was also attending school. He graduated from Fair Park High School the same year he made his premiere on Louisiana Hayride. He subsequently began attending Centenary College of Louisiana. But his other interests were quickly being overshadowed by his country music career. As Faron began making waves in his local area, he also began recording music. Before signing with Capitol Records in February of 1952, Faron released a few pieces of recorded material through Gotham Records in Philadelphia. After Faron signed with Capitol Records, he remained with the prestigious record label for 10 years, during which he released his most notable material. Faron Young's first single, released through Capitol Records, came out in the spring of 1952, just after he'd signed with the label. Although the song didn't chart, it proved to the label the singer was serious. He moved to Nashville in the latter half of 1952, feeling that big things were about to happen. In October, he released his first charting single, Goin' Steady. While it appeared Faron Young's career was about to take on an upwards trajectory, things were put to an unfortunate halt when he was drafted into the Army in November of 1952. He found himself in basic training as Goin' Steady was climbing the charts. The song peaked at number 2 on the chart of the most popular country songs. When the Army realized it had a star in its ranks, Faron was recruited into the U.S. Army Band. He was brought into the band to replace previous member Eddie Fisher, and he became the band's first country music singer. As he began touring with the band, another one of his singles, If You Ain't Lovin, was climbing the country charts. He was discharged from the Army in 1954 and came back to America and continued to release music through Capitol Records. He continued working with the label until 1962, releasing many hit honky-tonk songs. Sadly, his fame dwindled in his later life before his 1996 suicide, and he experienced several controversies leading up to that. Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to Facts First for more, and stick around for more about Faron Young. After being discharged from the Army and continuing to release music through Capitol Records, he saw the most successful period of his career. This lasted from 1954 to 62, during which time the country music singer released hits such as Sweet Dreams and Hello Walls. The prior song was a cover of a Don Gibson tune, while Willie Nelson had initially written the latter. Nelson's version of Hello Walls didn't prove as successful as Faron's cover, with Faron turning the song into a crossover hit that made an impact on much more than just the country charts. Faron Young's cover of Willie Nelson's Hello Walls went on to sell over 1 million copies, leading to it being awarded a gold disc. Besides achieving success in the recording industry, the 1950s also saw Faron break out into film. In the mid-50s, the country music singer could be seen in features like Raiders of Old California, Hidden Guns, Country Music Holiday, and Daniel Boone Trailblazer. He could also be seen on TV performing his hit songs. One of the television programs Faron could be seen on was Ozark Jubilee. It was a country music variety show showcasing various artists in the honky-tonk scene. In '63, Faron made the move from Capitol Records to Mercury Records. This coincided with a slight change in the singer's sound and a decrease in his popularity. Faron found himself lost in the shuffle for years before releasing his final #1 hit in 1971. That was called It's 4 in the Morning, and it also became the singer's only success in the UK. After the release of that final #1 hit, it was a downward slope for the singer until his suicide. Not only was his music becoming less popular, but his career also began to be mired by various controversies. In 1972, he was charged with assault when he spanked a young girl in the audience at a concert he was performing in West Virginia. Faron had claimed the girl spat at him, which is what led him to spank her. He ended up getting off with a slap on the wrist, being forced to pay a small fine. He also had begun drinking excessively, and fans noticed he wasn't the same man he used to be. In 1979, he signed with MCA Records, though he only worked with the label for a few years. His popularity had decreased considerably by that point. Following his release from MCA Records, Faron began working with a small independent label named Step One Records. He signed with the small, Nashville-based label in 1988 and continued to release material through the label into the early 90s. Around 1991, Faron concluded that he wasn't welcome in the world of country music anymore and decided to withdraw from the public. In 1952, while in the Army, Faron met the woman who became his first and only wife. Her name was Hilda Macon. The two married after Faron was discharged, tying the knot in November 1954. They remained married until 1986, over which time they had numerous domestic spats, frequently related to Faron's excessive drinking. Despite their domestic turmoil, Faron and Hilda had a total of 4 children: Damien, Robin, Kevin, and Alana. In 1984, there was an incident in which Faron Young decided to shoot a pistol into the ceiling of his home while his family was present. This resulted in legal trouble and, inevitably, a divorce trial. After 32 years of marriage, Faron and Hilda officially divorced in 1986. When Faron was asked during the trial if he'd been worried that he might have hurt one of his children during the shooting of his pistol, the singer said he had not been. By all accounts, the last years of Faron Young's life were incredibly dark. Alone without his family and abandoned by the country music scene that had previously held him in such esteem, the singer lived out the remaining years of his life lost and alone before eventually deciding to pull the plug. He shot himself December 9, 1996. Few people in the world of country music even noticed at the time, though the singer was posthumously inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame in 2000. Now it's time to hear from you. Did you know country music singer Faron Young committed suicide in 1996? Let us know in the comment section below. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to Facts First if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.